I'm going to start by showing you this. So 50 years ago at Stanford University, they ran an experiment where they showed 50 students these images. And they said, "What do you see?" 49 of those students said something along the lines of this. "I see a family dropping their son off at university. I see a couple and I see them with their child leaving a building. I see a couple with a stroller leaving the restaurant that they just had dinner at." Only one of those 50 students said, "I see two circles, a triangle, and a rectangle." It was, in fact, just that. Two circles, a triangle, and a rectangle. And when the other 49 students were told, "Yeah, it's just geometric shapes on a page," what do you think they said? They said, "How can it mean nothing? How can it mean nothing?" And you might think, well, that's crazy, isn't it? Of course, it's just two circles, a triangle, and a rectangle. My name is Preethi, and I run a consultancy, Possible Ground, where I help both individuals as well as entrepreneurs create narratives for themselves and for their businesses so they can create, communicate, and grow. They can grow personally or they can grow their business. And so, on that note, what we do is we like to generate stories even when there aren't anything, even when there isn't anything there. And you might think, well, I would have been one of those 50 who would have just seen the geometric shapes. Are you sure? Because I live in this city at the moment. I live in Paris. And whenever I tell one of my Australian, American, or British friends, or Canadian friends, or anyone that I'm living in Paris, the first thing they'll say to me is, "Wow, the most beautiful city in the world. You're living in the city of love. How magnificent." I say to them, actually, there's something called the Paris syndrome. I don't know if anyone in the room has heard of the Paris syndrome. The Paris syndrome is something that tourists routinely get treated for when they arrive in Paris because they feel a deep and dramatic disappointment at arriving in the city and seeing, God forbid, that it looks like any other city. There's a hospital in Paris that even treats tourists for Paris syndrome. Symptoms include fainting, hysteria, feelings of depression and disappointment. And it can take months to recover from the deep, deep disappointment that they feel when they arrive in Paris. Yet tourists still come year after year after year. Paris is by far the most visited city in the world. What is this if it isn't a story that we have told ourselves that is so ingrained in us about Paris? The minute I say city of love, we immediately make that connection to this city. What is that if it isn't a story that we've told? And this, is this just a landmass? Or is it the place of dreams, the American dream specifically? However, is it? The American dream is a belief that anyone, if they work hard enough, can become anything in the US. However, statistics show that, in fact, today, if you are born in public housing in the US, you have more of a chance of being struck by lightning twice than going to university. You have the facts, but then you have this enduring myth, this enduring story. We all think that it's facts that lead us to decisions. However, what facts lead us to is positioning statements. And this is Apple's positioning statement. Apple emphasizes technological research, advancement, and takes an innovative approach to business best practice. Raise your hands in the room if that's why you bought an iPhone. Or Airbnb. This one's really riveting. We are focused on creating an end-to-end travel platform that will handle every part of your trip. Can't wait. Right? Facts result in statements like this. And this isn't why you use Airbnb. This isn't why you've got an iPhone. Fact: an iPhone is consistently the most expensive phone on the market, and it's very rarely ranked the top phone. And Airbnb, so you're telling me with Airbnb that I, as a single woman, am going to go book a room in a house with someone I've never heard of in a city I've never been to? I swear my mother warned me against this for decades. This is what facts lead us to. And this isn't why we consume these products. Facts give us positioning statements. You might even think, well, I do better than that in my business because I don't talk about features, I talk about benefits. Benefits are still facts. This is why you buy an iPhone. This is why you use Airbnb. So, what is this? What is it? This is how we make decisions. We start with a story and we retrofit the facts. We make decisions based on stories. And then, once we've made the decision, we find the facts that fit to the decision that we've made. So what is the story that Apple is telling you? What is the story that Airbnb is telling you? And how can you tell that same story? A positioning statement starts with company. It starts with you as the entrepreneur, you as the business owner, and it results in you telling your client what you can do for them. It results in you listing a bunch of things that you can do for them. Maybe they're features, maybe they're benefits. Don't know, but I know that they are facts. What Airbnb and what Apple do is what I call a value proposition narrative. They help their clients get to the promised land. A term I love, created by Andy Raskin. They help you, their client, get to the promised land. And how do they do that? They start with the broken world. They start with the broken world. They start with the world that their clients are inhibiting, and they show why it isn't functioning the way that they want it to. Travel is broken. Traditional technology isn't good enough for the world we live in. It isn't fast enough. It isn't sleek enough. They start with the broken world. Why is this such a powerful way to start? Think back to your favorite stories. Maybe it's Harry Potter. Maybe it's Lord of the Rings. Maybe it's Star Wars. It doesn't matter because they all start with a broken world. In Harry Potter, the world is broken. His parents have died. Voldemort is still alive. The world is broken. This is why it captures us. And these brands do the same thing. Your customer is the hero. This is step 2. When we do positioning statements, we, the company, are the hero. No one wants to listen to a story by you where you are the hero. Your customer is your hero. Your customer is your Harry Potter. Your customer is your Luke Skywalker. Your customer is your Frodo. So then who are you, the entrepreneur? What role do you play in this story? You are the mentor. You are the facilitator. You are helping your client get to their promised land. You are the Yoda. You are the Gandalf. Dumbledore. You are the mentor in this story. And let's go back and see how these two brands have done it. The broken world. Travel is broken. Traditional technology isn't keeping up. You, though, you want to belong when you travel. And we, Airbnb, we help you belong. We help you get to that promised land, the thing that you want, which is to travel anywhere authentically. Same with Apple. Traditional technology isn't keeping up. The world is fast-paced. We need to be connected. We help you think differently. The prize is getting your customer to their promised land. That's the power of a good story. And that's what good brands do. Good brands are able to center their customer as the hero. That's why we want to be associated with Apple. That's why we want to be associated with Airbnb. Because what does it mean about me? It means that I'm traveling authentically. Forget that racism is rife on the platform. Forget that most of the houses I've stayed on in Airbnb barely live up to their photos. Forget it. The story they've told me about who I can be when I use their platform is what I buy. Who am I? Who are you helping your customer be? So how do you tell that story? You start with the broken world. You start with the broken world. You start with Harry Potter in a world where his parents have passed away and Voldemort is still alive. The broken world. You find your hero. Who is your Harry Potter? You find your hero. Your customer is your hero. How do you guide them? Step 3. You are the mentor. How do you guide them? And step 4, the prize is getting your customer to the promised land. I encourage you to go look at Airbnb's advertising. You will never see products, features, benefits, none of that advertised on there. All you'll see is the ways in which they allow their clients to have authentic experiences. And that's what a value proposition narrative is. It's how do you get your clients to their promised land? Where is it that they want to be? And on that, I thank you very much for your time today. I am Preethi, and I run Possible Ground, a consultancy where we help you do exactly that. Build your story for your business. Create, communicate, and grow. And that can be whether that's through you personally or whether that's through your business.